Well. We are back from a immensely eventful day yesterday, a day of joy and a day of pain. A day where we are. It's incredible how this event, such a joyous event, turned into a tragedy or had a tragedy amongst it. Um, Before we begin today's show, um, I wanted to at least put something together because I wanted to speak from the heart. I can't describe how we are all, I believe, devastated by the tragic events that unfolded during our victory parade in the city center. Our thoughts and prayers go out to every single person affected by this horrific incident. We know that Merseyside police have confirmed that a 53-year-old man was a 53-year-old British was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after driving a vehicle into the crowd. Over 50 people were injured. 11 of them remain in hospital as we speak, though thankfully all are in stable condition. To those victims, their families, and every witness traumatized by what should have been a day of joy, this community stands with you as we always will. The global Liverpool family is hurting tonight, but we are all together and with you. We echo the plea of the authorities. Please don't spread distressing footage. Respect the investigation, respect the victims, show compassion and support, and do it the Liverpool way. So we ask all of those things of you. And I know our community here will gladly and beautifully do that as well. Um, we also have with us Lee. Lee, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. Shame about that thing. I didn't know until I woke up today. I didn't know about it yesterday. I was
Okay.
pretty drunk anyway by the time I got home. So didn't notice
Mm-hmm.
anything sort of thing.
Right.
Um, yeah. So it's just sad, like, isn't it? Sad.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't understand exactly what was going on, to be honest with you, because I saw pick up the KJ. KJ was the first person I saw put something in our chat about it. I didn't know what was going on because I was watching the stream all day, and but it didn't cut away to that. It didn't say anything about that. Um, but all of a sudden you started seeing all these different posts and all these different things coming through, and it was definitely troublesome. um Again, especially on a day that's supposed to be marking a day of celebration, like it is. I can't express how much it's heartbreaking that such a moment of violence took place during what should have been this city's celebration. Because let's be honest, it wasn't just about trophies. This was about joy. It was about unity. It was about pride in this team, the city, our fans, and the effort that this club has made in pursuing something that we've only done twice in the Premier League era. So lifting that trophy for a second time was certainly meaningful. It's a moment that's going to, I'm certain, last forever in a lot of our hearts, not just in the record books, but in the hearts of every supporter who lined the streets from the docks to the cathedral, right? As is now a way of saying it, right? The docks to the cathedral. I don't know. Is that
uh-huh.
proper? Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure. I'm just making sure. Um, and Arne Slot said it best. It's beyond dreams, and it was. Uh, every age, every background, every corner of the world was there at that parade. If not at the parade, certainly watching the parade, watching everything that was going down. Liverpool supporters brought the Red Sea to life. The other Red Sea, I guess, the Red Sea that we all love. And there was a statement by Alexi McAllister, I thought, that echoed what was beautiful about the spirit of the squad. And he said, this is just the beginning. I was so happy to hear, one, especially someone that's so integral to our future, to our dynasty, our hopes and pursuits of trying to establish some type of dynasty in this slot era. Say something like that. This is just the beginning. And what it really means to me and to possibly you two out there, and you can all tell me how you feel, but it really does mean to me that, one, Allister is interested in being a part of that plan, a part of that construction of this dynasty, but also that he noticed that this is players embracing supporters, families with kids on their shoulders, people crying with joy. That's the heartbeat of this club, the heartbeat of the city. It's the magic that can be only described as Liverpool. We still
our own special brand, yeah. Forget about that knob in the car anyway. Like, we are, it's our own special brand, magic in it, this club. Are you there, JK?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I phoned you quite a few times on that number you gave me, but I couldn't get through to you. I was hanging down for a while, like after you said you were stuck in Birmingham. Like, even a few hours, see if any more messages come. Like, I gave it about 4 hours actually, but I kept ringing that number, but I couldn't get through to you. It wasn't engaged, and it just said the person you were called is unavailable. Like, you weren't in the right place to receive a call or something, maybe.
It was what happened, bro. There was no phone networks. Everyone's phones were down. Fozzie's, everyone, like Nalante's, mine.
Yeah, I tried to tell you that. I tried to warn you.
Everything was down, the buses, the trains. I have made
everything, bro.
What's wild?
When I was trying to get home, I ended up in Old Roan, and then I had to jump off the bus when I realised it was going nowhere near mine and get the train. And I tried to get the train in the first place from town, and he said, "Oh, you'll have to walk to Moorfields, mate. You can't get the train from here." So I thought, I'll get the bus, and then I ended up getting the train anyway from bloody Old Roan, which is miles away from here.
Yeah. You know what? I guess for occasions like this, back in the day, there used to be the Nextel phones. I think they were the Nokia or Nextel, one of the two. But like they had like the chirp feature where you could chirp someone. Do you remember that? You guys remember? That's old. It's old. I know it's old, and I'm definitely dating myself by talking about it. But Nokia used to have this like inner connect. It was like a walkie-talkie, and you could chirp someone on the phone, and it wasn't connected to the cell phone feed. It was connected to some other frequency or something like that. It was no, it's not a pager. I wouldn't go that far.
Sorry, Jay. I didn't realise that, mate. I didn't realise the phone lines were down. I mean, I didn't think you were being funny. I just like phoned you, couldn't get through to you, and I thought, well, what's going on here? And then in the end, like I came home, but I mean, it wasn't met you. Like, it was just that I couldn't get hold of you. Do you know what I mean, mate?
Yeah, because all our phones were down, bro. I tried to reconnect, do this, like that.
Don't worry about it. We'll meet sometime in the future anyway.
Next season. We'll do next season.
Yeah. We'll do it better next time. We make better plans next time.
Yep.
It wasn't the amount of people going, it just made everything was like, it shows up Britain as the place that it bloody is, you know what I mean? Something happens, like, and the buses go off, the trains go off, or they're rescheduled, and all this crap. It's like, what, you can't deal with it. Yeah, I know it was a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, Lee. Yeah, it is a lot of people.
Well, it's like when it snowed.
I mean, it was close to, if not a million people at the, and I think it would have been easily a million people if it hadn't rained. I think the rain possibly even held back a couple of people or kept people from staying as long as they possibly would have stayed, possibly. But
it rained all day, bro. started off sunny where we were, and then eventually, as soon as we got into Liverpool, it started raining.
Yeah.
And like for me, yesterday, I'm gonna call it Manic Monday, man. There's a song called Monday, and that's what yesterday was, bro. From top to bottom.
KJ's hearing it was 1.5 million. That's well over $1 million.
It was rammed, but there was a lot of spaces you could just chill. Right, there weren't a lot of people. So that was sound in that way. If you wanted a little breathing space, you can go to spots, but it was sort of difficult to get out. If like we were right on the road where the Strand is, and where the Travel Lodge Hotel is, and Jurgen Klopp was there on the right, on the building on the right of us, and I seen him. Yeah, and we were pretty near the bus actually.
Was he staying there or?
I don't know, bro. I think, yeah, he must have been like because he didn't officially be on the bus or in a, you know what I mean? I think Kenny Dalglish was there.
Is that a nice hotel? Is that a 5-star hotel?
Well, it must have been. It was opposite Travel Lodge, so I'm gonna have a quick look later.
I don't know.
Did you stay over? Did you stay over in Liverpool?
Nah, bro. We sort of lucky enough. It all worked out for all of us who were all traveling back. That we all got sort of the last trains because, like, we got the train from Liverpool, took us to Birmingham, and I was lucky enough. There's one more train to where I wanted to go after from Birmingham, you know. But it was all done sort of frantically. Like I'll go in depth when Nalante comes on because Nalante will join us soon as well. Like KJ was there. A lot of people are like Anfield Rods, Uncle Rods, Fozzie, all these people we could have just met, if you know what I mean. They were just not even 30 meters away from us. But with the amount of people there, bro, if you leave where you are, you're not gonna ever really get back to that spot.
There's no way you're doing that.
But
that's the reason. That's the reason why I was trying to. I was emphasizing if you guys are going to do, just as being from someone that's been to plenty of huge events, even events as big as that, certainly as big as that, because some of the events when the Eagles won their championship, it was like a big thing, Super Bowl, because that was like our first Super Bowl and actually in the Super Bowl era before it was called something else before we won it. So like, so I've been to things that have like, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And it's next to impossible sometimes to get a signal, get a cell phone connection, just because everyone's trying to use the limited bandwidth that they have, out there. So
you know what though, bro? Realistically, we should be like having a laugh about what happened yesterday. Realistically, we should be doing that, like loading up photos, videos, seeing, But that thing that happened, it just tarnished everything.
It did bring
it did, man.
Tarnish. It's wild because what's so crazy about the circumstances is that you put in Liverpool Trophy Parade, and the majority of the things that come up are about the incident. It's not, it's very difficult to see the actual. I mean, even though that was at the tail end of it, of the parade, there have been hours upon hours of coverage before that, but now that's going to be connected to it. But let's just. I just think that reflecting back on it, I'm glad to see you guys are safe. I'm glad to hear that you were able to meet up with, even if it wasn't a complete meetup, at least you were able to meet up with select people, just to say what's a proper hello and greetings and salutations and the likes.
I met people from all around the world, bro. America, from Maryland, from Seoul, from Korea, from India, from Germany. I met so many people from around the world. Everyone cool. I'm telling you the truth, bro. The Liverpool fans in general, it was all cool. Everyone's getting on with each other. And when there was a bit of like tightness, trying to get to Lime Street Station and stuff, if you sort of, I was like trying to shout at the people, like, "Yo, stop pushing from the back," you know. It's like it was getting a bit heavy, and they actually all listened, and you felt it, you know, when they all sort of stepped back, you can feel it from on your back, like they were all stepping back. So in that way, it was sound. Like I think the fans did well. I think even though there was like a fight on the train between these women, man, yo, you don't want to know about that one leaving Liverpool to go to Birmingham, bro. Some commotion there. I had to stop that fight as well, bro. Yesterday, I sort of stopped a lot of things bad happening, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I've never really seen a vicious fight between like two women. But in the pub about 10, 15 years ago, these like travellers came into the pub for a bit and they argued with each other, and the woman took her stiletto off and stabbed her fella in the neck with the stiletto. The brutal travellers, mate. It's nothing to do with anyone else. Like, it was them fighting amongst each other. They're not the only people who bloody fight. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I've never seen like two women go at it like that, but women can beat men up, that's for sure.
Well, there you have it.
No,
yeah. I as much as there was, I'm certain, you know, with every crowd, you're going to have some bad apples, certainly. But I'd like to look at it for more so, considering that there was, you know, reportedly, as KJ was just saying, over 1 million people, well over 1 million people, if not 500,000 people. I think that it kind of showed the magic of the city in that you could see people were standing together in celebration. I saw people like, you know, on light posts, I guess they were, or you know, or traffic posts or something. Even in we stand together in celebration, and we'll stand together in sorrow. The part and point of what is important is that we stand together and that we walk together in whatever adversity and hardships that we face. And it matters when you have the support of each other. I think that's what makes Liverpool very much different than a lot of the other clubs on the island, and also just in general. It looks like you know, the incredible history has put us in a place where you almost expect it rather than hope for it. So in a season of triumph, how important do you think this moment was with the open top parade and everything in defining the emotional legacy of a title win? Like how in a season like this do you think that this was basically the coronation, or just basically that exhale moment, basically? And I'll ask that to Lee, actually.
Sorry, I was just busy typing then. Just say it again, please.
Yeah. Basically, like, how important is it to get to these moments? Like, as in, you know, some people, you know, some people might have looked at it as I saw someone, for instance, apparently travel 11,000 miles or something like that. I saw it in I was reading in a news article. He said he traveled some like 11,000 miles just to get to this parade. You know, like that's how important it was for him. And he brought his child with him.
I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say JK, excuse me, traveled from Germany to get back home just to see this. You know,
I calculated I did 2,400 miles in the last week.
Yeah.
Stop start. It ain't like a one flight 2,400. Now it was like about 3-4 flights. God knows, I don't know. It was missions, you know. But for me, you had to do it. You know what I mean? And when we got to the train station and at Lime Street, that's when it was like the energy kicked in. Everyone was singing. It was a good vibe, bro. So when you got off the trains, yeah, man.
Right. That's what that was the question I was asking Lee. Like, for you? Like, I mean, it had to be meaningful. It got you out of bed. So
yeah. I enjoyed myself. Like, it's a shame couldn't meet up with the lads, like, but I enjoyed it a little bit, like, that it did, just seeing all the other Reds, all the songs were going, it was everywhere. It was on the way into town. You could see people, like, crowded around different areas and that, like, it was everywhere. It was dead loud. It was really good, yeah. It reminded me what a special club we are. Just that amount of jollity and frivolity coming from football, like, it's great, isn't it?
What do all the did you see Evertonians there with celebrating, or did they close the blinds and put the headphones on? And
I didn't see any Everton shirts, but nobody would be silly enough to wear their Everton shirts, surely, if they were there. Just like I would never wear a Liverpool shirt in Goodison Park, you know what I mean? There's no need to. When I used to go to matches with my dad, I wouldn't go in my bloody Liverpool shirt, would I?
There was a guy with the Man United shirt at Birmingham main station, bro.
Really?
And then what happened? There's a big crowd now. I'm talking thousands of people waiting to go through the barriers and this, that, and the other. And there's some Man United fan on the other side of the barriers with the police. Right. Everyone just started fucking swearing at him, man. Wow. It was fun. Like, it was like like the journey there, stressful, but we had the fun moments as well. Right. Nalante can tell you about that guy. He was just sort of everyone telling him to F off and all that. Oh god, he's got some teeth, man.
Like, what you're absolutely looking for trouble if you were to do something like that. I don't understand that. Plus, I just don't get why you would want to wear it. I mean, like, how, like, at any other time, why would you want to wear your Red Devil kit out?
He used to be a Man United fan around here, mate, and he'd go in the pubs, like, when there was a Liverpool match on, in his United shirt, and he always wore Dr. Martens boots, like, to try and, like, signify that he was a tough guy. I had an argument with him in 2002 when we won the Charity Shield and give him loads, and then I see him in the pub about 5 years ago and give him loads again for a laugh. But just banter, you know what I mean? It was just banter, like saying, your club's shit compared to mine, mate. Oh, okay. He was like, oh, no, it isn't. It's like, oh, yes, it is. You don't scare me with your Dr. Martens boots, you dickhead.
Oh, he was one of those guys. All right. Anyway. Well, Lante, big up on joining us. I was going to ask you this. Welcome to the show. And also, glad to see you're safe too, by the way. Slot said it was beyond his dreams. You could see the emotion on the players' faces, but also you can see on the supporters' faces as well. Generations lining the streets. What does this kind of public unity say about the relationship between the club and obviously its global fan base right now? Because there's obviously an enormous swell of global fans joining this celebration. Some coming home to Liverpool, some seeing Liverpool possibly even for the first time.
Evening, big up everyone. Big yourself up 12. Evening, Lee. Still didn't get back to me in the chat. Damn you, Lee. Jeez, what are you doing, Lee? I kind of missed that ring.
Phones, yeah. I didn't know that all the phones were down. Tried over and
over.
As far as I was concerned, you were still stuck in Birmingham. That was the last I heard, that you were stuck in Birmingham, and then all I could do was phone you, like. But couldn't get through to Jay.
No.
I really wanted to meet up with you, like, but we do it some other time. Like, there'll be more. Hopefully, like McAllister said, this is just the beginning.
It's the beginning, all right. Yeah, after what happened, mate, flipping on me and JK. Jay is like next time. Yeah, go on, 12. Go on.
I was just gonna say Lee was too busy meeting up with someone pint or
well,
something.
If Norm's in the chat there, I went to Cooper's. I'll tell him that much. I went there. Like, it's smaller than it looks on the internet. That place, it's bloody tiny.
Cooper's, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's I guess that's a Liverpool mainstay when it comes, or a Liverpool landmark.
It's like a karaoke place. They always have people doing karaoke, and some of them really good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There was a woman who was quite. What was she doing? Oh yeah, these boots. I like that one. These boots.
Was it Bernie by any chance?
It wasn't.
Okay, all right.
I met Bernie somewhere else than Cooper's. It was a menage a trois. It was me, Bernie. It was me, Tracy, and Phil Neville.
Okay.
Phil Neville.
Okay.
I'm convinced Tracy and Phil Neville are the same person. That's just
Possibly.
Phil in lipstick and a wig, mate, and I shade.
Moving on, Lee.
Yeah.
We'll go there this time, Lee. I tell you and the convincing of the name, no, Lee. We'll move swiftly on from that.
Yeah.
I feel a bit mean saying it. I'm not oil painting myself, but you know what I mean. The Nevilles, they break the laws of physics, don't they, with their bloody ugliness?
Oh, it certainly do. I saw. Yeah, I was just watching Gary talk on one of these shows actually. So big up. Oh. Little camera, just get your cameraman right.
They look cool there, mate.
Yeah.
Shades look good in them.
Any shades? There you go.
Look at Denzel there, bro.
I'm tired.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that.
Looking like Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel. Looking like Denzel.
Yeah, that's his new name now. Denzel, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, I saw a little me and JK at 12. So we'll talk after.
Okay.
We'll talk. But what I will say is the parade was, it was a good day. Obviously, big up JK. We linked up, obviously told the group to chat. It was a, good link up. But I'm going to tell you this, man. The service, obviously, big up KJ. Big up my brother. Big up. The service was terrible. Like me and JK, we met. I'm sure I don't know if he's probably told this at the start of the show, but we met at Brum, and mate, honestly, it was like, JK, you know how it was like lies after lies. We waited for an hour, told us to go to the middle, told us about bus replacement. We didn't get bus replacement, told us to go Paris. It's so bad, 12, that people are throwing prawn sandwiches in the air and balls. And plastic balls. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the bus replacement service be called the train replacement service? Because that's what it's replacing. Have you ever thought that? Why do they call the train replacement service? It ain't replacing a bus, it's replacing a train. Get it right.
Wow. Trudon seen us, bro.
Did he?
Yeah, man. He wrote that at the bottom. How come he couldn't? It was too many people, or?
Oh, Trudon, you were there, yeah? Oh, snap.
What did you? Were they signing autographs? Were they signing autographs, Trudon? Is that you saw the line?
Yeah. That's what I was just Denzel, and I was just this security in black with shades on as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
No,
but luckily I bumped into one of my other guys I ain't seen for a while. He brought his nephew, but he's a gooner, he's an Arsenal fan, but he's cool. He's really
top
cool.
Guy. Really nice guy, bro.
JK did, so they're exchanged, so they're good. And we all chatting. There's another guy like JK met. JK can mention him in a minute, and they were messing us about. Obviously, they were like Lucho Diaz and blah blah. Okay, I mean. Which is a shame they didn't sing about Mr. Chiesa, but that was disgraceful. But anyway, so we got past the barrier, and then we waiting there, JK, for about 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
So we got past the barriers, and then he told us, "Oh, guess what, guys? You're gonna wait another hour." Well done, UK British Transport Police. I've written my complaint. Well done. If you're watching this, well done. Shambles. Wow. So luckily,
right.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing was, it's sort of we met a lad. I met a lad on the. What happened was this: is how we sort of got to Liverpool.
Yeah.
In a miraculous sort of move we made. Right. We weren't going to end up in Liverpool the time we got there if we didn't do this. What happened when I was in Cov? I was on the train already, and it was rammed, bro. And what happened? This lad with a Pakistani lad, he had glasses on and this and the rucksack Liverpool top, and he was like, "Oh, is there any chance I can just jump in there?" And I felt sorry for him in a weird way. I said, "You know what, bruv? I'll sort it out." So I told everyone around me, push back a little bit, and they did, and he jumped on. And then he told me, when we was in Birmingham, we'll just catch a normal train to Liverpool and stuff. And what happened? We ended up waiting nearly 3 hours and stuff. Then he said, "You know what? There's a train from here to another place called Stafford. And from Stafford, we catch the next train to Liverpool." So what we did with the other guys who were eavesdropping on us, we ended up all going there. And we met this Lebanese girl as well, who we looked after because she's sort of smaller. We didn't know she's from Liverpool. So me and Ante, the other lads, we just like all talking and stuff. And she kept us company. And we ended up getting to Liverpool in all right time, bro. And it was well played to that lad who I sort of let on the train, bro, because he's the one who told us, let's do this.
Oh, that was karma. It was like a karma thing,
It's
probably.
karma, bro. That's what I always say to people, do good. And it will come back to you, man. So it was great seeing that guy, and he was fair play to him. He said, "Rock," because he's from Blackburn, this guy was, and he ended up in Coventry because he had to visit family. So he's sort of near Liverpool, so he knew his way around them sort of sides and that. So that
was he going to the parade, or was he actually going to the parade, or was he
of course, yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of people, bro, from every country, man, America, everywhere. Just like it was great to see, man.
What would you say? How about this? What would you say are what were some of the most I wouldn't say incredible, but what were the most eye-opening places of people that you met? Like, as in, when someone said, "Oh, I'm from, I don't know, I'm from Greenland," or something. I don't know, like I'm from I'm from the Fiji Islands or something. Like what was a place where you're like, wow, that's how far Liverpool reach?
For me, Korea, bro. I met 2 lads from Korea, actually 3 lads.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they're really like the guy was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, bro, in Atlante.
Oh yeah,
bro. Yeah. I said, "Bro, how did you go there with just that on?" He was drenched, but he was still smiling. It was mad, bro. These guys were just smiling.
He's going he's going into the swimming pool. Maybe that's how he looked at it.
Yeah, he probably thought, you know what, this in Seoul is this is nothing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So for me, it was them guys from Seoul.
Okay. Trudon said he met some guys from Wigan. Okay.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So Trudon didn't get a taxi. He got a taxi there, man. That must have been a bit of a bomb. Cost a packet or whatever.
I bet it was. I bet it was not cheap.
Oh yeah.
We would have took him along with us when we jumped on that train to Stafford. It would have been bang on if he came over to us and started talking and stuff. That would have been sound. He could have just stayed with us then.
Mm-hmm. True, man. Yeah, it would have been good, man. Tell you, because me and JK, mate, we played security roles. Honestly, the amount of things of me and JK had to deal with children, people pushing, and then the girl, the Maryland girl at the end, she's a bit nice, I was like, okay. Little bit of a pushing there, you talk to me, darling. Jeez, come on. But yeah.
Women with prams, I let a family with kids. I make sure they got up them steps at the train station. I kept saying, people, let these lot through, and everyone listen, bro. And I tell you one thing, bro, the Liverpool fans were sound. I got a video. I'll send it you. Maybe you can show it tomorrow or something, where I showed the whole train station area, bro. There was no sound. Everyone was peaceful, calm, and everything. And then what happened when we got near the doors and stuff, which we was not allowed in. So he told us to turn back round. There was a woman with a pram and a kid crying. I was like, you know what, sod this. I went to the policeman. I said, bro, this girl needs some help. Can you let her through the barriers? He straight away opened the barriers, let her through, bro. We did a lot of that yesterday, me and Alante. We have to do it, bro. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah. He said he spent a small fortune on cabs because he wasn't trusting those trains. Plus, He's with his dad, 70. He can't be standing for hours on end. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I was about to phone a cab when I got off the bus that was like a bus to nowhere, and I didn't even know where it was, so I couldn't phone a taxi because I couldn't tell them where it was. But the bus was still there at the stop, and he went, "Oh, there's a train station over the hill, mate." So I tried to get the train home initially anyway, and ended up getting the bus because there was no train. But there was a train, but not from Liverpool city centre. You had to walk to the next stop to get it. But anyway.
Well,
you should have left Sunday night, bro.
I didn't know.
I'm telling you the truth. You should have just gone early Sunday morning or Monday morning.
I know.
That would probably be the best.
I'm surprised they didn't let you guys like camp out practically. But there was some other news.
I think it was around 4 to 5 or 5 to 6.
He's talking to Norm. There was some other news amidst the parade. There was some big football news, I guess you could say. Some expected, some surprising. Expected, but still somewhat of a surprise to hear so soon, like on that day, I should say, was that Caoimhin Kelleher has confirmed his plans to leave Liverpool in search of first-team football. The Irishman, or the other Irishman, I should say, has been outstanding when called upon. Well, they both are outstanding when called upon, but this one that plays goalkeeper for us as a champion in every sense. We wish him nothing but success in his next steps. Obviously, Liverpool have made some quick steps to prepare for this eventual exit. They've gotten Georgie Marmadashvili, who is already lined up to take his place as the backup goalkeeper. I did see Yaros at the parade too, which is kind of cool. I didn't even think that Yaros. I know we have the ability to give a couple of players that didn't qualify, quote unquote, medals. Yaros was one of those players that I know didn't play in 5 games. He might have played in 1 maybe, but he didn't play in 5. So, but I saw him, going to the bus and getting on the bus and everything with his medal. So, but 25 million pounds was the deal agreed last August. He's ready to settle in as Ali's understudy, or perhaps more in the long term, because his message was, "I'm here to prove myself." That's a mindset that I think all of us love and appreciate to hear from any player, basically. Meanwhile, Florian Wirtz looks like the headline signing. 100 and some odd million, 110 million euros or 120 million euros. I'm not certain on the exact price, but personal terms of Kerkez are reportedly agreed on, and Frimpong could be announced next as to what exactly was the deal that's going to bring in Frimpong. That's a serious statement of intent. I think the biggest thing I can say about this is that for a lot of people that were very, very confused, and let's just say FSG in general, but Hughes especially, and getting these players through the door, or at least getting these players lined up to be signings. We're making some serious work and making some really, really, really good traction towards getting some big names, getting some high-profile players, young high-profile players at that, in through the door that are going to be those next stages. And there was the report. I already spoke on Gordon. I don't even want to talk about that really. But not trying to hurt people's opinions and hurt people's feelings in the chat that love the guy. But there is also the reports about Newcastle's Alexander Isak as a possible target as well. Liverpool have made contact reportedly to him. Arsenal are apparently in the out there lurking, trying to get involved in a deal possibly for him as well. but Newcastle most likely will hold out for some serious ka-ching. There's no way that unless you drop some serious money, and I mean like even more than we possibly are going to drop on Florian Wirtz. I don't think that's going to happen. And it's very difficult to see Liverpool saying that they're going to spend close to 200 some odd million on 2 players. Let's be honest. So I'll ask this to the panel, and you can tell me how you feel in the chat too.
Mm-hmm.
Is Liverpool right to let Kelleher go now? Or should the club have fought harder to retain him as a long-term successor to Ali? That's basically the question. Is Liverpool right to let Kelleher go now? Is this the time? Or should the club have fought harder to retain him as a long-term successor to Ali? I'll ask that of Lee first.
I think it's going to be Ali, obviously, first choice again next season. But Mama should get quite a few games, shouldn't he? He likes to rotate the keeper now and then anyway, just to give the number 2 minutes. But it'll probably be like League Cup, maybe the early rounds of the FA Cup, maybe a couple of the Champions League fixtures we might see Mama. But yeah, it's bad to see Kelleher go, but he has to for his career, doesn't he, the lad? And I understand that when any player leaves, that if not playing, you've got the career to think of, haven't you?
Okay. All right. How about for you, JK?
Blessed up Persian Pride as well, man. Great to see
yes,
you on
big up Persian Pride.
I'm glad you're safe as well, and everyone else who was there yesterday, man.
Yeah, big up.
I think next season, bro, like Kelleher, for me, I like Kelleher. I think he's vastly improved from when he started. He was always a good goalie, because otherwise he wouldn't be at Liverpool, in my opinion. But over the season, even this season, he won us the Premier League, bro. That's no bad
He did.
snide to Alisson and stuff. I just feel the time where we sort of got running, got on our horses, started galloping, is when Kelleher was in goal. So for me, fair play to him. I would love for him to stay on, bro. I think he can even improve even more. Yeah, he's let some goals in now and again, but every goal he lets goals in. You know what I mean? Come on. So for me, I don't know, man. I just felt I didn't really want that Marmadashvili. I'd rather just keep Kelleher.
Even after the Euros, because I mean, like, look, I don't think many of us even knew who he was until the Euros, and then he had a fantastic Euros. Let's be honest.
I don't know, bro. He is a good goalie, but I'm not sure how good he is yet, because I haven't really watched any of his games like the Euros. Yeah, it was just a quick bang. You know what I mean? Like for me, Kelleher, you could see what he's good at, what he might not be so good at by the games he's played for Liverpool and that. That Marmadashvili, bro, he cost 30 million odd, yeah. 30 million, whatever. And I tell you, so for me, it's a nice. I wouldn't say it's a massive fee, but it's a fee. It's 30 million, bro. It's 30 million pounds, man. I just hope he comes in and just sort of shows us what he's all about and what that 30 million was spent on. I think he will get chances next season if Kelleher has definitely moved on, or is he going to move on? I've not really looked into any football news regarding Liverpool today. Yeah, for some reason I haven't really done that. But if Marmadashvili is good, yeah, man, show us,
Okay. Well, he says that's his aim, is to show his worth, fight hard to make a contribution, and be possibly fight for that starting position that he believes that he can hold down.
Yeah, I'll quickly answer Brian. Yeah, because that time Alisson was out for about a good 2-3 months nearly. If we didn't have a good goalie in goal, we were going to let goals in and lose games. So for me, I think Kelleher played a big major part of us winning the Premier League, bro.
All right, I want you to keep that energy for an upcoming show. I want you to keep that energy for an upcoming show, just so you know. So I'm not alone when I drop some controversial comment here or there.
So
I agree.
transfers, and are we going to get on to transfers? The exciting part, isn't it?
Yeah. Turn your volume up a little bit, and we'll be there. We'll be there.
Where's he going?
I was just gonna say Kelleher's definitely proven himself in high pressure matches, as you just said. But he wants regular football. It's obvious, and honestly, it's well worth it. He's 26 years old. He's hitting his prime, if not in his prime. I'll ask Nolante, will Liverpool regret this move in 2 or 3 years if Ali begins to fade, or maybe moves on to Saudi Arabia or something like that, and Mamardashvili isn't all that he's cut out to be?
Again, it's a 50-50 thing. You just don't know. You just don't know. You wait, you see. I mean, I agree. I agree with JK to an certain extent. Yeah, personally, I didn't want Mama. Mama done well. I'm in the U's, but I didn't want him. I thought we could have just kept Kells and push him eventually to be the successor. So again, it's optional. Maybe not. But I think Mama will eventually do well. But I think it's going to be quite a bit of teething time. Like I said, Ali, I would love him to finish his career at Liverpool. Just love the guy, man of God. He's just quite, but it probably won't happen because at some point, Mama will take the reins in the next year or two at least. But yeah, Kells, again, I agree. I would have kept him personally. But I understand that. I big up those. He's not sitting on his laurels. He needs to play. He wants to stay. And like I said from the start, best wishes to Kells. Whoever he joins, I wish him nothing but the best. Been great for us. Helped us in times of needs, So that's all I'll say about Kells, man. Blessings.
Whoever he goes to is getting a really good goalkeeper, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And again, you see him again. He started a little bit, not shaky, a little bit, but you can see he's improved. Again, it's the easy sense that everyone in the world games. The more games you play, the more you feel comfortable, the more you perform. And like I said, man, he's performed. Like I said, I was probably the only one, and maybe not the only one when he's playing those roller games. When Ali was back, I was like thinking, no. Let Kel stay. He's been playing well. Let him stay as number one. Let him stay. Ali has to work himself back to be number one. But, Snort had his thing. And, fair enough. But like I said, all the best to Kel's, man. Be a great servant. League winner. He's won 2 back-to-back Carabao Cups, nearly a third. That's all I have to say, man. All the best, man. Great servant. And we move on.
I'm just making sure that someone asked me for Dara asked me for clarification on this. Who is this Gordon fella? I just wanted to make sure he knew. He's an Olympic level diver apparently, and plays football in his spare time. So you can look up that. I think he might have a bronze medal in diving, at least.
There's a lot of swimmers these days, 12. It could be anyone.
Yeah, Florian Wirtz will do me fine alongside a new striker. Someone to replace Nunes. I don't see any room for Gordon. So
we'll see. So that'll be a tough pill to swallow if that happens. But I'll talk about rumors. You want rumors? You want targets? You want blockbusters? Okay, let's get into it then. Because there is some chaos going on right now. Florian Wirtz, we all spoke about how we're about to get Florian Wirtz. That was the number 1 target for Bayern Munich. Number 1 target also for Real Madrid as well. But this time it's funny too, by the way. Let me just say this too. It is completely funny how when we're in the running for a top target, along with other big name clubs such as your Real Madrids or your Bayern Munichs, even your Manchester Uniteds. I even go that far. And they get the top target. They get that big name. all of a sudden it's no pool, Liverpool live a no pool, or it's or they've got no pool, or they got but as soon as we get it, you don't hear any talk really. They just move on to the next subject and get into different topics to try to get into. But what's interesting about this is this, and this is the point. Bayern Munich are salty. They have that. I don't know if you ever saw. They're used to. I think it was for. I want to say it was for Foster's beer, but there was this thing where it's called bitter beer face, and there's this guy that look. His cheeks will blow up, and he almost looked like Popeye the Sailor Man. That's what I feel Bayern Munich look like right now, because apparently, after missing out on Wirtz, they are now looking to take Cody Gakpo from this team. They have put Cody on their of players they are going to actively pursue in trying to bring to Bayern Munich. Another shocker out there for you. What's that?
Alan Julius knocking them back if they come in for Cody. He's going nowhere, isn't he? I don't reckon he'd even want to go to Bayern. I think we're well happy with his performances, his goals. Just happy with him as a player. Ditto Luis Diaz.
I think there's a lot connected to why Cody likes it. I mean, Cody likes the fact that he has a brother in the faith in Ali on the team that's devoutly disciplined and he likes the fact that he has brothers from his national team. He's about to bring another one of his brothers from the national team. Him and Frimpong are very good, tight friends as well. I don't think going to Bayern Munich is necessarily in the cards for him just yet. But hey, I'm just telling you what the reports are. Bayern Munich are definitely have him on their short list as being someone that they're looking at, especially with all this talk about us getting some Olympic diver possibly to come to our team, maybe with the exit of possibly of Lucho, or maybe us keeping Lucho. But another big shocker out there, and this is for those in London. Arsenal are still trying to get Rodrygo. That was a player that we were all looking, or some of us were looking at being a successor to Mohamed Salah possibly in the upcoming years. But Xabi Alonso, our former midfield general and now Real Madrid manager, has shut that door with the quickness. He says Rodrygo is not leaving. He wants him to stay, and he has a place for him on this team, and he will figure out some way to make him a more active part of the club. Let's go quick. I'm just gonna jet set all over. John W is a little bit late on getting me the jet, but we'll do our own little bit of jet setting around. Man City are regrouping, and what's very interesting about their regroup, interesting comments I'll bring up later that Pep had to say about this regrouping. But Man City are regrouping, having dropped out of the Wirtz chase. I think we all know that it was because it wasn't for what they put in the papers. Let's just be honest. Their program isn't as appealing as they would like it to be. But they are targeting a player that we were heavily featured in as being connected to. It's a player that some of the panel actually do, I wouldn't say covet, but like. And that player is Lyon's Rayon Cherki. They're looking to, if they couldn't get Florian Wirtz, they figure they're going to pivot and go for Cherki. He's a 21-year-old player with 32 GA this season. Pep himself has admitted, and this is his exact words, City are, and I don't mean like literally as in like geographically, but City are miles away from Liverpool. That's something you'd love to hear, especially from an absolute, factory of a club that just, earns and burns through the money and the bringing in players, high profile, high price players. It's something that is good to hear.
Well, it was hilarious to hear City crying poverty over the Wirtz thing. City crying poverty is hilarious, isn't it? Oh, we can't afford him. He's too much money. When has City ever said that? It's not a thing City say when they want to play it. They can pay whatever. He just didn't want to go there. They don't want to admit it to themselves that the players want to go there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would make a pool too thing too. So you should see some of the City fans, like I said, that were online, because some of them do occasionally try to talk trash to me on Twitter, and it's interesting some of the posts that they put out there. Last but not least, and we'll get into, I'll get your comments and your thoughts on all the things I'm going to finish up on speaking on. Manchester United. We're talking about Manchester City. Let's go over to the other part of the city and talk about Manchester United. They are obviously bringing in Cunha, who they've finalized. You have to Here We Go, but they're also going to be looking to bring in Liam Delap. Chelsea, Everton, Newcastle, all circling on that same player. However, it looks like Manchester United are going to be the team that finalize on bringing him in. It's going to be a unique situation with United because even if they are able to, I guess fire a couple more lunch ladies or something like that, or apparently, or cut down on some of their barbecues that they're supposed to have, and get the money together to pay for these big time deals, because the Cunha deal is still a substantial deal. The Delap deal is going to be a substantial deal. It's something that I'm interested in seeing how they orchestrate it. And last but not least, a little bit of sad news, and that is my dream of somehow bringing in Lamine Yamal is not going to happen. All right. It's not going to happen. All right. That's over. He's signed
as likely as Gakpo to Bayern, isn't it? Come on. I've seen that story myself. Gakpo to Bayern, it said Bayern frustrated in their efforts to sign Wirtz. It's like, you're not getting them. But it's good to hear the big clubs are interested in our players. Hey, why wouldn't they be? We're the champions of England.
Mm-hmm. The reason why this is my last little sentence here. The reason why I was hopeful is because I know I might have a better chance of marrying Dua Lipa than us getting Yamal at this moment. But why I think that is important or possible was because Yamal was on the last year. He was coming up. He's now in the last year, or was in the last year of his deal. It was in the last year of his deal, and it meant that he had immense pull and say as to what and where he wanted to do. He's an unreal talent, but for now, it's not to be. Let's win a couple more Champions Leagues, and we'll bring him in the natural way. All right, so that's how I'm looking at it. So the dream's not over just yet. It's not over just yet.
He's got business to do at Barca, hasn't he, the young man? He'll be wanting to win a bit more with Barca. Yeah. And thankfully, they beat Real Madrid to the title, didn't he? Which I enjoyed this year. because I've come to dislike Real Madrid over recent seasons, encountering their fan base in comment sections, how stuck up they are, like about being number one and all that. I'm just like, whoa. But anyway, he's got a bright future, definitely. And maybe sometime in the future, it'd be a future transfer, possibly. It'd cost a lot of money though, but who knows? Might happen.
Let's get that. Let's get to the Real Madrid level and start like getting them on the free deals. Hey, who knows? I don't know. Maybe you can get a prawn sandwich or something like that. Anyway, who knows? I'll ask this on the panel of the chat. Big up to the streets. Big up to the streets, by the way. Big up to Abdul, Dara, Red Armchair supporter. Is Wirtz the marquee signing Liverpool needs to dominate for the next era? Or do we still need a defensive reinforcement as our bigger priority? That's the big question for the panel. I see a lot thinking about
strengthening, but it looks like we're going to anyway with Frimpong and Kerkez. But I think we do need a centre half. I think we've needed a replacement for Mata for a while. Joe's a good player, but we can't rely on his fitness, getting injuries. We've got Jarell as well. Could have another Jarell, couldn't we? Hasso could have yet another Dutch player at centre back. There's a few we've been linked with. There was that link. Oh no, it wasn't even a proper link. It was just me saying I'd like him, the Colombian fella.
Sure.
Others, I'm trying to think of any that are actually in the Premier League who we could snaffle, but it costs a lot of money. Probably would be better buying a centre half abroad because we get them much cheaper than what we would buying off an English club. That's for sure.
Okay. I saw.
I think the Wirtz thing is massive though to marquee signing, like you said, and I think it's a massive part out there. Window, it's a massive part of this window. If we get him, if we manage to get him, it'll be stellar for us, I'm sure. And then any extra help we can give him this summer with extra signings, and it's looking good. Hopefully, looking good.
Okay. I see most of the people. I put a little bit of a question out in the chat. I said, question, which is more important, shoring up our offense or shoring up our defense? Obviously, we're doing a little bit of both by bringing in a right back and a left back, most likely. We're bringing in a 10, if not a potential false 9, which is where I think he'll play. Excuse me again. But what is more of the bigger one, the bigger thing, the bigger ask? JK, what is the bigger ask for you?
I'll bless up the chat quickly as well. Abdul, Dustin, KJ, of course, Quasi. Great to see you, bro. Rasta Crab.
Yeah.
Pops is up here as well. Great to see you, Dara. Great to see all you guys, man. I think for me, we conceded like 40 odd goals. So there's only one thing for me defensively, because for me, Liverpool Football Club will always score goals. There's never a doubt about that. Even if Darwin Núñez is on the pitch and Jota, we will get goals. So I have never had a worry about that. It's always for me defensively. Sometimes it's great. Bang, we don't concede that many goals. But this season we conceded 40, but we still win the Premier League with that. But for me, next season, I want to concede 15, 18, 19, 20, something like that. Half that. Let's half that next season. Not conceding that many goals. So for me, straight away, defensively, I think it'll probably be more of a DM instead of a centre-back. I think Liverpool Football Club play better with a good, solid DM. I think any team does. And for me, I'm really interested in. Look, I think Wirtz is going to be a top signing if we get it wrapped up. Just looking at it, he will be the guy who opens that number 9 guy up, who's going to be playing up front. He can play them balls, he can cross, he can do a lot of things. He can even score from outside the box and stuff. But for me, I reckon we need to just sort of get a bit more solid next season. We sort of let ourselves down since the Tottenham game. We just conceded 3 against Chelsea, 2 against Arsenal, just conceding bloody goals, bro. And that annoys me. I always say, if you're winning 6-0, and then all of a sudden they get 1, 93rd minute, and it's 6-1, I'd rather win 5-0, if you understand my point. I think clean sheets builds confidence. So for me, next season, that's a very important thing, that we defensively look a bit better than we have done. Hence why I'm not a big fan of Konate anymore. I think he's just too lackluster in that way of concentration levels. And I wouldn't be worried about if Madrid offered us 23 million, as they were saying. I'll take it. I'll tell you the truth.
Wait. Sorry.
That's the defensive side of the game. You asked the question.
Yeah, I know. Did you just say you would part ways with Konate for 23 million?
With 1 year on his contract, and what else are you going to get for him, bro? Because if I'm having a stroppy Konate next season, not figuring out if he's signing a new contract, I'm sick of that bullshit, because we've had 3 of them guys this season doing that, and it's been exhausting. And get it wrapped up. If he wants to stay, he says, you know what, I want to play for Liverpool. I love Liverpool. I don't want to go to Paris. Then give him a decent wage for him to sign. But other than that, if he's sort of dilly-dallying, ciao bella, bro.
Ciao bella.
This season was like
French. Au revoir.
Au revoir is, ciao bella is Italian, right?
Italian.
Yeah, this was his best season for us, Debu. In terms of staying fit as well, there was only that Madrid injury, which was a bit unfortunate the way it happened right at the end of the game. But he was fit this season most of the time, Debu. And that's what he needs. He's a centre half that needs a load of games in a row to hit his peak form. You know what I mean? He's not one who can just come in and out of a side and just right into his best. I suppose any players like that to an extent. But last year, the contract thing again, it's like the other 3. It's another one we've got to sort out. I just hope they get it right anyway. That we keep him. Because we need centre half coming in, not going out. We got 4 and we need 5, I would say.
I was gonna suggest you're still on mute just in case, Delonte, because I want to make sure that people know that's not you speaking on. I know that you're not. Put it politely, you're not. You've been critical of Konate this year, but I don't know if you're 23. Let's let him go for 23 million. Critical of him just so far. I don't know about that, or maybe you are. Let's hear it. Oh no! Oh no! Do we have 2 people on the 2 people on the panel that will let go of Konate for 23 million? Look, I was critical of him. I'm not going 23 million is not.
But no one's going to offer us 50, 60, bro. Not with a year left. That's why. Even if he had 3 years left, 2 years.
I think
left,
that we could. He could still, even if it was 23 million, as long as not even 23 million, even if it was something that we couldn't figure out a way to get him signed for what he wanted, we would still work out something where the deal would be, if necessary, we'll sign you to sign another year. We'll make sure that we know, and then that way it will still be somewhat of a lower deal in the sense that it won't be what he's really worth, but we'll at least get closer, like 40, 50, maybe not, if not 60 million for him. I mean, like, KJ saying United, I'll bring it up for you to see. That's a good point. United bought Mount for 65 million with a year on his deal.
Yeah. They're done with money, them guys. You know what I mean? They win the lottery one day and the next day it's all gone. Yeah, that's Chelsea. United and Chelsea, bro. Liverpool do things different. That's one good thing we do, is we spend sort of wisely. It's only Chiarte, I could say, over the years that we really messed up on. So what's lies on the borderline?
I see 3 different numbers in the chat.
But I'm looking at it in the way the team that is supposedly getting interest from is Real Madrid, bro. They want everything for free.
But I think as much as they want him for free, we could also, the team that is also very interested in him, but just didn't make a move for him because they didn't think that we would realistically be willing to let him go, is PSG. He would love to move back to Paris.
There you go. So how much?
And he would be him at Paris would be a huge statement for them, and it'd be a big time acquisition for them for sure. But I'm seeing in the chat, KJ says, of course we could get at least 50 million. Rasta Crab says the minimum was 60 million. Brian is saying Ibu tops out at 40 with 1 year left in his opinion. Dustin says 50. Madrid, Quasi saying wants him on the free. They want everyone on the free rather than have to pay for anything.
Of course.
Let's see. Manchester United going to sign Cunha for 62.5 million. I don't know where they're getting this money from. They're not going to be.
It's installments, 12. It's not all like
pound a week.
Yeah, that's got to be some
pound a week, bro.
Yeah, they must be putting the incentive of putting the payments towards the back end of that deal or something, because they're not going to have Champions League. They're not going to have Europa. They're not even going to have Conference League this year.
The funny thing with that deal is that I'll just reiterate about Ibu. They wanted to, with Wolves, they wanted to make, and just by the way, big up the Rasta Crab, big up, sir. You don't know, big up Quasi, my Ghanaian brother, etc. But the thing is, with that, the deal, they wanted to do 5 installments of payments, and Wolves said, no, we're not having that. You got to give us minimum 3. So again, they had to agree because they were so desperate. So they had to agree. They wanted to do 5 installments. The big Man United 5 for Cunha.
Wow.
Agreed to Wolves. 3 installments, that payments that Wolves won. So yeah, shows how they're in the mud. You love to see it. But player, to be fair, but that's not. They're going to need more than that. And back with Ubo, in terms of me and JK, I was joking, but yeah, I mean, I think what Brian, Brian said about 40 mil. We have to, regardless, we need to stamp authority. And as whether people say Goober's rubbish, he's all right, he's good, we need to keep him. We need to say, look, are you going to sign the thing or not? And if he doesn't, we just got to get the money and go, regardless of how much the money is, because we could not afford to have another trend. I'm going to be fuming if we let Ibu take us for a ride and then he goes on the free next season.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
But fuming, and I'll be blaming the owners, and I'll be blaming Hughes and Edwards. So regardless of what we think, whoever we're going to get, with his Hatto or X, Y, Z, look, put your cards on the table. Listen, Ibu, do you want to stay or not? No dilly-dallying again. If he's still in the mind, right, bounce.
What about if the Ibu deal is concerning? What do you think if, hypothetically, and let me double check real quick. I'll even double check to see what the number is. Because I don't know what his market value is off the top of my head right now. But 1 second. Keep listening. Okay, so what would you do? You already said you'd sell Ibu for 23.5, right? Or 23 million, right? What would you do if where's the player? Okay. What would you do if Bayern Munich came in for Cody? And right now, Cody's market value is it says 56.3. Let's call it 60 million. So let's say They came in with a £75 million offer for the Gakpo. Would you take the deal?
How much?
£75 million. 75 million sterling.
No, I wouldn't take that for Gakpo. No. It's worth more than that.
He's worth for. We paid 35 million for him.
Well, what I'm saying basically is I don't want him to go, and I don't see any reason why he should. I think it's just one of those links that there's not a lot to it. I don't think. I'm sure they do admire him, but they should know seriously we won't entertain a bit. We're trying to build a team. We're trying to build a team here.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that would be the opposite of what we're trying to achieve, because he's part of the team we've already built, and we want to add to it.
Okay.
Can't be letting some of our best players go. Now, there's players we can let go who haven't got a future here, but he's not one of them. He's got a bright future here.
Because they know, obviously the coach likes him. We obviously see that he's a big part of our plans for the future, is a part of our plans for the future. So they would have to most likely sweeten the deal, go well over market value to try to incite a switch of locales. All right, I'll say 80 million then. I'm not going to go too auctioneer on you, but 80 million then.
The price is right from 12.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find out what is your price to move off of Cody. What is your price? Or is there no price? Is he unsellable?
Sellable to me.
It's not like left wing is a position that we have like a dire need for, in the sense of we don't have enough players that could play left wing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, if they're buying or offering me 80 mil for Cody,
you'd go for 75 million, or would it take 80 million, or what would it be?
if they're buying or offering 80 mil for Cody, off you. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate it. Off you go.
Wow. Okay. Lee's a no. Nalante's a yes. JK, you're the determining. Yeah. 2 votes on both sides of the scale. Which one are you going to put your vote on? Are you going to get? Is he getting his? What is it that they get? Golden ticket? Don't they get like a golden ticket or something like that? Or America's Got Britain's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, or America's Got Talent?
Bro, for me, I think Cody top player. He's like top scorer Euros. Had a great season until he got injured. I think that injury sort of hindered him.
I'm listening. I'm just reading the tea leaves a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I ain't selling him.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, that was a bait and switch. I thought you were saying that you're going to sell him. All right.
No, bro. I think he's quality-wise, he's got it in him. He can win games. He can score.
Yeah, signed to 2028, by the way. So,
I mean,
on
who are you going to replace him with? You got Diaz, yeah. But the thing is, Gakpo's best position is left wing.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't selling him. I think he's a good squad player, top guy, good professional. Everything that Liverpool suits him. You know what I mean? I don't think he wants to leave because Slot likes him, and you've seen that Slot's played him a lot of times.
Right.
So for me, he's staying, man. I don't want him to go. No way. Top player.
Okay. Slot definitely does appreciate Cody. It's just 80 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It is
a lot. It's a lot of money.
It is and it isn't. Because for me, as soon as we sell him for that, and then we're looking for another left gut-sided type of guy, price is going to go up. And would that guy be as good as Gakpo? That's the question, bro. So it's a cycle. It's a weird one, that one.
Okay, all right. I see what the chat's saying. Cody is staying. The streets say we are a big club. We come and get your players. You don't come and get ours.
Exactly, bro.
Okay, I got you.
Unless you go on free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, if we sold him for 75 million, we'd have most of the fee for Anthony Gordon's. Well, then me and you would be well happy.
Oh, there you have
That's
it.
what it
there
is.
you
That's
have
what's
it.
happening. Gap goes in, Gordon's
There
coming.
you have it.
All
right.
Not for
there
him.
You have it. You should have said that earlier.
Oh, no.
You had said that earlier.
What's that? No. Uy.
Oy.
No comprende. No. There's two other wingers we can get, but not for him. No. Oh, no comprende.
No, Flash Gordon's a no.
All right. Well, I didn't bring him up, chat. They did. I'm just saying, this Bayern Munich is apparently in the running to put him on their short list, and they are trying to convince him to consider moving on.
He's not going anyway, regardless. He's not. I mean, you can never say never. You can never say never, and that's people got to be realistic in football, regardless of who the player is. I mean, Trent is one we've just come through, but I don't think he's going. He's regardless. I don't think he's going. I'll be very.
Earlier on, you was talking about Bayern fans being a bit like
salty.
Just a bit salty, bro. That's the word. And this guy, he's got his own channel, blah blah blah, and he was like, Liverpool have won 20 Premier League titles, whatever, Champions League championships and stuff like that. And he says Bayern have 38, and then he writes a list of all the players who supposedly turned us down. Your Bellinghams, you know what I mean? The list was there, bro. I had to tell him, I said, bro, if we are afterwards, and that's a big if, you know, then cool. But the thing is, we ain't got him yet, you know, and these guys doing this, man. And I've seen it from Man City fans as well. And that's the greatness of Liverpool. As soon as we go after a big player, have you noticed how other clubs, fans all sort of turn on us? Like, I didn't care if Man City are buying Haaland. I didn't even give a damn. That's their player. Let them have him, you know. I'm not going to start crying about it. And that's what a lot of fans do to Liverpool. Yeah, man.
It's the same with Caicedo. I mean, Caicedo didn't want to be a Liverpool.
I didn't want him anyway, Caicedo.
Same, Jake. It's like a big hoo-ha over some fans. I was thinking, geez, just take it easy. So many other deals.
Yeah, no, it's cool with it. His loss, not ours.
Speculation, bro. Simple.
All right, well then, give me a little space to set this next one up then, because I do have something that I would like to say about this next player that is on the radar of being a player that might be on the out. I honestly hope that this doesn't come to fruition, but we've got to talk about it. Reports are emerging that Andy Robertson could be set to take a step back from Liverpool and join Celtic. I know, let that sink in for a second. The man who's given us everything, blood, sweat, and silverware. The man who, for a long time, even before Trent ascertained to that goal, to the height of being the assist leader of fullbacks, it was Andy Robertson who was that man, and still could be if he were to stay. He could be returning to Glasgow, back to the club he supported as a boy. Robbo's story is the stuff of legends. Let's be honest. He was released by different teams throughout his journey. Obviously he's gone his way through playing, eventually make it to Hull City, and then became a cornerstone of Klopp's machine. Two Premier League titles, a Champions League, numerous domestic cups, every trophy you can put on the table, basically. 300 plus appearances of relentless commitment to this badge. But now he's 31, and with Milos Kerkez strongly linked, and even even Anthony Robinson's name still circling, popping up. The writing may be on the wall. Fernando Morentes thinks so. That's at least what he reported. He believes the bond between Robbo and Celtic could make this happen. And honestly, if it does, who could begrudge them? It would be a fairy tale ending. Player that gets to go to a team that is absolutely, a very, very beautiful team to play for. Still, it would sting. It stings because he still has so much to give. It stings because he embodies what it means to wear the kit. It would sting because this isn't just a football decision. It'd be an emotional one, especially after losing the right-sided right back. It'd be very emotional to lose our left-sided left back, who have become somewhat a brother connection. Jamie Carragher hinted at it months ago that Liverpool need to prepare for life after Robbo, but replacing him isn't just about skill. It's about replacing heart. It's about replacing leadership. It's about replacing presence in the locker room. It's never easy. That's never easy. Those intangibles are hard to replace. And Kerkez has been excellent. He's been aggressive, dynamic. And now with Richard Hughes bringing him to Bournemouth and now pulling the strings at Liverpool, it's most likely he'll be a Liverpool player as well. But Tsimikas is still here too, obviously. But let's be real, Robbo's never really had the competition from Tsimikas that would push him from being the top guy. And even despite the injuries and the critics, and there are plenty out there, the critics, he still fights like it's his debut. If this really is the beginning of the end, let me say, before everyone else chimes in, thank you, Andy. But you gave us everything. But maybe, just maybe, there's one last run left in you, and I'm hoping there is. One last charge down the wing, one more cross to Nunez. No, just joking with that. But just one more season at least, if not more, maybe one, maybe two more seasons left in our left back. But should Liverpool let Andy Robertson leave for Celtic? Or is there still a key role for him in Arne Slot's system moving forward? I'm going to ask that. I know, Lalante, you look like you're ready for that question. After that little soliloquy of mine. Should Liverpool let Andy Robertson leave for Celtic? It'd be a beautiful ending. It'd be one that I think a lot more of us could possibly wrap our heads around a little bit more than a player going to a Real Madrid or something like that, or Barcelona, or certainly not some of the other teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, because that's the pub league over there. But look, no, easy answer, no. He shouldn't leave. I want Robbo to stay. I would again, like Allenton, love Robbo to just go and finish his career at the club. If I'm honest, if he's still up for it, but obviously he's going to be phased out once we get the Kerkez over line into a more rotate. He'll probably play quite a lot of games next season, but after that, be more of a squad player. But yeah, keep him, man. He's been an excellent servant for us, and yeah, his form has dipped a bit, but he can still bring value to the team. And Milos Kerkez, and the Celtic thing is a load of rubbish anyway. I think that's just gossip rumours, because as Armchair and KJ, which I already know in the chat, which they put it in there, and Kieran Tierney's going to Celtic, so Robbo go to Celtic just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, unless they could put Tierney as a centre back, but I doubt that happens. So yeah, no man, no. Robbo's got to stay, man. For all his critics, man, he's put in the work. So yeah, man, Robbo to stay. For me, Robbo, I'll love him to finish his career at Liverpool, but I doubt it happened. But yeah, man.
I was gonna say he did make a cameo as a center half for us, a left center half for us once.
No. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the PSV. That's fine, once in a while when the dead rubber, he can fill in, but no, let him do what he's best at. But yeah, Robbo to stay.
Okay. JK is taking a quick break. So Lee, I'll ask you that question. Remember, I told you what Marenta said about it being a natural step. Told you about what Jamie Carragher said, as it might be that time. But Robbo still delivers leadership, energy, and energy you can match. Look, he brings a smile. He's like a very, very charismatic player that brings a lot of continuity to the locker room. But if Kerkez arrives, and who knows, maybe we do something whereas in Kerkez arrives and we bring in Robertson as well. Let's say bring Anthony Robinson and we bring in Kerkez, which will be a great deal. Those two could certainly platoon their way through and properly transition into Kerkez eventually taking on the mantle. But is there value in keeping Robbo to possibly mentor a successor, or is it more value in giving him a proper exit to a team that he would like to be a part of?
No, I don't want Robbo to leave. I think his dressing room stuff, his leadership qualities from, within the, we've got a captain and a vice captain. Well, we'll have a new vice captain, but he doesn't need an armband, Robbo. He just does it anyway. But I want him to stay here and be number 2 to a new young left back with more legs than what Robbo's got now. As long as he's happy to do it, to be, to not be first choice, because he probably realises now that maybe he's not the player he was a couple of seasons ago. Mm-hmm. But he's got his international career to think of. Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a big fish in a small pond there, Robbo, international wise. So he might want to move on. I hope he doesn't, though, because I really like him to stay as a number 2, and like you said, be a mentor to whoever comes in. It's Kerkez. Yeah, just someone he could learn off a bit and that. But he'd be good for about 20 appearances a season, Robbo. You know what I mean? Like him start or something still. I don't mean in the league. I mean in all competitions. There'd still be loads of games for him, wouldn't there?
Okay. All right. JK, you back with us yet or no? I don't think JK's back with us. I'm gonna leave a message in the private chat for him to make sure that he tells us when he is. But it's a tough sell. It's really tough. I know that there's a lot of people. I know Crab is a huge Robbo fan. He said Robbo with rotation would be a lot better than whatever we have to offer, I guess he's saying. Personally, I'm with KJ. I'd rather have Robinson as a option for us than Kerkez. But I would love to have Kerkez and Robinson as our left back solutions. And to keep it moving there. I mean, Robinson's got a good 2-3 years left of his prime years. This could be a phenomenal move for him, one where he gets to play at a level that he probably maybe never dreamt of playing at, and then to maybe go back to move on to another club again, maybe go back to Fulham, or maybe go on to another club from there. But let's see. Oh, nice. Let me bring in Baz real quick. Big up, Baz.
What's going on, people?
Yes, Gucci. In the building. Come on.
In the building. We're talking about Robbo. You didn't hear. I don't know if you heard my little Robbo soliloquy, but there is talks that maybe this could be Robbo's last dance with the club. It could be a case where he could make the move back to Celtic, or not back to Celtic, but you know what I mean by make the club to his boyhood favorite club, and that is Celtic, and be able to take out, maybe even extend his career, to tell you the truth, considering that the level of play isn't exactly the same as the Premier League. So he might be able to extend his service, and maybe even help them get. They pretty much make the Champions League every year, so like it wouldn't be like he would be losing out on that. He would still get plenty of minutes to go and play in account towards staying as a captain or as a meaningful person with the Scottish national team. Do you think it's time to move on from Robbo, and maybe allow for that next era to properly be ascertained, or do you think that Robbo's the guy? Let him do his Frank Sinatra and do it his way.
That's to me, yeah?
Yeah, that's to you. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Big up to all the panelists. I'm glad to see you all safe. Robbo, okay, I'm going to be real with you. I got up really late today, obviously with yesterday's madness, and I've only just come on, so I didn't know nothing about Robbo. But what I would say is Robbo's been a brilliant servant for Liverpool, and I still think he can offer us experience, because I believe he might be our vice captain next season. It'd be. I heard what is it? Who was just speaking just before me? Was it Brian or was it Lee?
No. It might have. It was most likely Lee.
Lee, yeah. I kind of agree with the idea of, potentially keeping him for one more season, letting, if Kerkez is the one that's coming in, to kind of like, give him the big brother vibe sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of like settle him in, give him that understanding of what the work rate really is here. Do you know what I mean? Because Robbo's been in our first team for a long time, and obviously Robbo can't. He obviously doesn't have the energy as he did back in the day, but he will show that work ethic and stuff like that. And Kerkez, no disrespect to Kerkez, but obviously he's stepping up to a bigger team. So potentially watching how Robbo trains and would probably be my idea to keep him for another season. But if he does choose to leave, then, it will be a genuine handshake, brilliant legend. And he was rejected from Celtic, wasn't he, like earlier on in his career and stuff like that. So if he does go to Celtic, that would probably be something good for him. Do you know what I mean? And he'll go with my blessings. But yeah, in a nutshell, I'd want to keep him for an extra season. But hey, I won't complain if we've got Kerkez in there. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it would you would be open to it, but you would more want him to be.
Yeah,
you'd be more.
Yeah, I'd. To be honest with you, I'd like to keep him. I mean, he's. We need leaders in this team. People have been. I mean, we've got leaders already, obviously, with Allister and Van Dijk, Salah, people like them. But it's very hard because he's been a brilliant player for us. Probably one of the best left backs we've had. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I would want to keep him, but if he does go, it's not I am open to the idea of him obviously moving because he's not going to be starting every game like the next couple of years or whatever it is. he's not going to be our main guy. But you know, it's one of those ones where you can, if you can keep him for a year just to get the other left back settled in, then you know what I mean, I'd keep him. How many years has he got left on his contract? Is it just this year and
I can
next
tell
year?
you. I can tell you. Give me 1 second. I'll look it up. He has, I believe he's got 2 years left, but he has 2 years. So next year is his last year. He's in this last year.
So next year's his last year. So I mean, yeah, I mean, like a year left. You can get a nominal fee for him if that. Do you know what I mean? You get something for him. And I don't know. Tsimikas is obviously a lot younger, but I don't know. Tsimikas just. I don't know. I still have questions on Tsimikas. I think he has good games. I don't think he has what it takes to be, you know, challenging Kerkez or whatever. But he's a good backup. But I would want, I would want to keep Robertson for another season. But again, like I said, if he does go, you know what I mean, at least we can get some money for him now, innit? And I think with all these players that we're looking to sign and stuff like that, you know, inevitably something's going to happen in the other direction. So I'm open to the idea, but I won't be upset if he stays, and I won't be upset if he goes. I'm just happy so long as we got cover.
Yeah, I mean, this way it could be a case where, unlike for Trent, at least we would get some compensation. I'm not looking for an incredible. I mean, it is Celtic, so it's not like they're going to give out some enormous fee for a 31-year-old left back. But I mean, it would be a point. It would be very much like Robbo to kind of do his thing, because I mean, I know he wants to fight for his position this year, and that's great. But do you see him getting re-signed to an extension, for instance?
I don't see that. I don't know. I think, and he's what? He's going to hit 30 or in his 30s?
He is 31.
He's 31, yeah. I just think when it came to people like your Trents or your Van Dijks with, you know, the extensions and stuff like that, Salah.
Well, he's 30. He's 30, about to turn 31. I saw he's 31, but he's
okay. 31. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, there are left backs about, you know what I mean, and good ones. I think it was more difficult to secure someone like a Trent. There's not many Trents or good right backs about, so they would have wanted to extend. I think with Robertson, I don't know if they would extend it. I think in the end, you know, they'll probably be like, look, you've been a great servant, in it. Like, it's time for you to move on in a respectful way.
Well, yeah, he's making 160,000, by the way, too, a week.
Yeah,
I felt a bit sorry for him, you know, when he spoke to the camera and he said, "I love it here," you know what I mean? I love the career I've had here, and I felt a bit sorry for him because I think it must have been in his head.
It sounded exactly, Lee. It sounded like more so like it was him trying to get these to utilize these opportunities to show his love and show his appreciation to the club and to the fans and everything else. I think, you know,
to be honest with you, at 12, I mean, yeah, he is going to be sad. And let's face it, you've been at a club for that long. He's been at this club for a good while now, and you know, he's adored over there by the fans, the players, and anytime you're watching any Liverpool inside jobs, you know what I mean, he's always the life and soul of the team, isn't it? Really, he's the funny
guy. He's the funny guy. He's like the one that makes everyone smile or keeps the levity alive.
That's it
amongst the group. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, like when you look at factors, I mean, like we look at playing factors, but sometimes you got to look at the bonding as well. And I think with him, he's so respected and loved over there, and it's like if he goes just like abruptly like this, because no one's been talking about him leaving, been talking about bringing in the left back, and maybe Tsimikas was the one that may be going or something. I would, that's why I'm kind of like, well, yeah, no, the in between kind of thing. And he's really, really valued. And I really think that if anyone should be leaving, and again, there's no shade. I'm not throwing any shade on him, like he's a bad player. But if anything, maybe Tsimikas is the one that I would probably want to say, you know what, thanks, man. I know you're the Greek scouts and stuff, and you're great, but
he'd be the odd man out for me too. I agree with you. Tsimikas would be the odd man out. It's Robbo that needs to be staying, and just playing second fiddle to somebody, but he'll still be playing. He'll still be at Liverpool and winning things, and now if he stays, so can't see why he'd go personally or want to go. He has got like a couple of years, maybe as a number two to a different left back. He can come in and do a job in league games sometimes, and he can play in cup games, etc. So he's worth keeping, isn't he? It'd be Tsimikas would be the odd man out for me.
Do you know something, Brian? Though Lee, sorry. There is one thing though. Tsimikas, yeah. I mean, I've just said like we kind of we agree. The only issue is it's very hard to find someone who's just contented to sit on the bench. And Tsimikas, to be fair, has you don't hear a lot from him in it, like that can upset like the squad, like look, I'm not getting games, because times that Robbo's he's not really made about it, which is a great quality. I mean, these when we look at players, personalities, he's a great player to have around. So this is why even when I do say like Tsimikas, potentially I would be more comfortable with him leaving. It's it's reluctantly, because players nowadays, they want to play. What I mean? They want to play. They could upset people, and the staff and stuff like that. I ain't getting games. Robbo's not been playing well. Why am I not playing? And Ratata want to move, and you don't hear anything from him. He just vibes in he vibes in the squad really well. When he plays, he doesn't really let us down. But there are times that because he doesn't play so often, he gets caught out. But his work rate and ethic is brilliant for Liverpool. So again, it's a very difficult one. It's a very difficult one. But then Liverpool might look at it in a different way and think, well, he's still younger. Maybe we keep him and we let go of Robbo. I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, he's filled in okay for Robbo at times. But I see him as no more than an adequate player, like who can fill in. I don't really see him as a first team option, like Klopp didn't, because the amount of times Klopp played Robbo. He plays him all the time, didn't he? But he's had he's had a few high points. The penalty, the cup winning penalty, was the best one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
filled in the Klopp years for Robbo, hasn't he? In the last, whatever it's been, 4 seasons. He's done okay, but I think it's time for him to go get a fee for him if we can, and install a new left back, starting left back that Robbo can back up and mentor, etc.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm hoping he doesn't go. If he does, like I said earlier, and it is to Celtic, then I think that'll be a classy move. But I guess we'll see. We could be looking at, if we're going to revamp our right side with 2 young players in Frimpong, and have it also be held down by Connor Bradley. Maybe we go with a younger player, and also go with Kerkez, who's obviously a very younger player. But we'll see. These last parts and points are from the Round the World, Around the League, the title aftermath. So here we go. Champions, that's what everyone should be calling us from now throughout the entire year. not just by a point or on the final day, but with a 13-point cushion. Eventually, Pep Guardiola called it miles away. And that's what he means. When I say 13-point cushion, our normal competitor for the title has always been City, not Arsenal. Manchester City as of late, and Pep Guardiola calls it miles away. His club compared to ours, and I think he's right. I'm hoping that it stays that way. City have been relentless for years, but this season was different. They spent heavily in the January market, over 200 million, and they still did nothing but get them, which is fortunate for them, because they could have fallen out of even getting the spot that they did. But they fortunately held on to a Champions League spot. Even when the pressure came from Arsenal and others, we fought and we continued to get through it. As we look around the league, clubs are scrambling to catch up, some with money, others with desperation. But here at Anfield, we have a project, a vision, a spirit that money can't buy. So I'm going to ask you, which of our top 6 rivals pose the biggest threat to our crown next season based on current impossible transfer moves, in your opinion? I'll go around the horn. I'll start with Lee, then go to Baz. Hopefully JK will be back. If not JK, then or go to Nolante, then JK.
Yeah, 12's JK's back.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. All right, so Lee, Baz, JK, and then Nolante. Who do you see as out of our top 6 rivals, who do you think is the most formidable opponent?
Manchester City with Rodri back. They've filled me with trepidation, the idea of Rodri being back. The idea of Arsenal doesn't fill me with trepidation in the slightest. Like, I expect them to be also Rans again, bridesmaids again. Or maybe not even that this season, because City will finish above them. It's City that I fear, that I'm worried about, that they'll have a big summer anyway, regardless of not getting there. They'll get some other players in, and with Rodri back, that'll be my concern for next season, stopping us going back to back with the title. Not Arsenal, City.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lee's right with that. I think obviously it's a fresh start. It really depends on who buys what. Man City, I still think they are still quite shaky, but they've got the money, don't they? They've got the money. Whether players are going to go there is a different matter, just in case there's any issues with, their ongoing investigations and whatnot. I don't know if that reflects on players' minds. The thing with Arsenal, they are, I take Lee's point again, that, in the sense that they are bridesmaids, but if this bridesmaid does change their way and actually gets a good striker, they have got a good team. If they keep, they've got a great goalkeeper. They got good 2 centre backs. Midfield is okay. They're just missing a gunman, and Saka's always going to be a threat. So, the chances are they may bottle it. So yeah, I mean it's a toss up between those 2. But instinctively, I'll always say Man City, because they've been there and they've done it. Man City for me.
Okay. So City for you is the main threat, right, Baz? You said.
Yeah, it'd be Man City for me, just based on the experience and the money. But Arsenal are in a good shout as well. But Man City.
We'll all have eyes on Rodri from the beginning of the season, won't we, to see if he has fully recovered from this ACL.
I'm not even worried
and
about
what sort of level he can get up to again. If he can get up to the level where he was before the injury, then we have got problems from City next season. because he sorted their team out. It's mad that just without one player they fall apart. But we've seen it before. He got his ACL. Every time he missed a game, they bloody lost.
I don't know if it's just that though. To be fair, I mean, you're right in a lot of things you're saying, Lee. But you know, this season Foden was great. The following season, he was piss poor. Kevin De Bruyne, you know, he's not been great. Haaland's really been affected. They've got Mamouche, I get it. Haaland has scored goals in the league, but I don't know. I just think there's something is not quite right with City. And even when you look at the players that they brought in, you know, in January and stuff like that, are they really Man City quality? You know, when I look at that centre back from, was it Kosovo or I'm not sure where, but
the
one that had his his debut was
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about.
Kusanov.
That guy. Oh, he had a howler of
Apparently he is good though. I have heard he's good. And like, if other people's opinions are anything to go by, I've not seen a lot of them, but people who've watched them, like, before say, this is a good player. Like, he's not. To be
fair, he was just thrown in quite deeply, so maybe there was a sign.
Our rivals, Bayern, I was, for Arsenal to even declare intent and sniffing around for Rodrygo was something. But, like, I never thought that was a goer from the beginning. Like, and Xabi's come in and shut the door anyway. But that weren't happening, Rodrygo to Arsenal. It was interesting, though, that they declared an interest in him. That interested me, but it's going nowhere, is it, unfortunately, for them? I heard that it's Gyökeres is their main target now or something. Gyökeres, however you say it.
How about for you, JK?
Big up Baz as well, bro. Great to hear you, man. That's cool. I'll quickly go about Robbo. For me, Robbo was the best signing pound for pound for Klopp. I can't say anything else about that topic. Top pro, everything. And if he stays another season, that's great. You know, but I just see sometimes he can make a few mistakes because of his transition from running 100 miles per hour and then do what Slot does, 20 miles per hour. And that's sort of, I think it's hurt him the most out of all the team. That transformation from going fast screen train to a little slow walking pace sort of football. And that really affected him. So we'll see next season. But for me, bro, I never worry about other teams. I just got this sort of belief in Liverpool are so good and strong that they don't have to worry about anyone else. I always say, if you get your job done, you don't need to worry about anyone else. And I think with the signings we look like we're going to get, that would really be Guardiola scared. You know, like as soon as that Wirtz deal and Frimpong, hopefully Wirtz and I think Frimpong's guaranteed. As soon as that comes through, Guardiola's going to be. He's going to be feeling a bit, and because look, we just won the league now as well, bro. We're the only team that stopped City in the last years. We're the only team. Arsenal have tried, like they always sort of doing it after spending nearly £1 billion. But I think Arsenal, like what Baz said, I think Arsenal will be hovering, you know, just like what they normally do. Unless they get a top number 9 in, they're going to be in the sort of same situation next year. Next season, and for me, Martinelli ain't great. I realised with Martinelli, he's really gone downhill. Saka plays too many games, got injured, and they didn't win really that many points in the league. They concentrated on the Champions League. But for me, City are the team where if Rodri comes back to to that level where he was sort of playing at, then there'll be a better team, bro. I think soon as I don't wish no player to get injured from any opposition team. I'm not into that. But as soon as Rodri got injured, something happened. It's like he was like, "Ooh, we could take advantage of this," and we did. So that's for me how we should do it next season. Do what we did at the start of the season, how we sort of started strong and everything, and carry that on. You know, and we can win the league again. A back-to-back league title right now. And beating Man United by 1 title, bro. Let's do that.
Okay. All right. And Latte? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of who's challenging, a lot of people could say, "Oh, the asses, I tell you, the asses." Old Caoimhin, I tell you, I told people, man, listen, mate, Caoimhin, he's picking up Pep's bibs at the station at Manchester, and they thought he's going to be a world-class coach. I thought, you've coached with Pep, so that means, you're a great manager, but what about that? Axes, 0 trophy in the last 5 years, what FA Cup, and yeah, Caoimhin, you can have your little charity shield. You know, if you want to claim the pre-season trophy, good on you, Caoimhin. Well done. Well done. And all your little statistics. Wow, we had a better team in the Champions League semi-final. We were the better team. Yeah, better than PSG. And all you man, you can stick it up where the sun don't shine, Caoimhin. Man, the top dogs. LFC are running things. If you know, now you know. I'm not going to say the last one. You know what we're talking about. But anyway, look. People say that, but you know what? No. I think City will be back. And again, there's a lot of, but Pep, I'll give credit. He doesn't use excuses. He doesn't say, "Oh, we lost the title because of Rodri." Because look, Man City have got an ample big squad of good players. So it's not. They shouldn't be relying on one man. Just like if we were to lose Salah, and again it will hurt us, I wouldn't sit here and say, "Oh, it's Salah FC." You know what I mean? It's a football club, so it just bores me to death when they hear, "Oh, Rodri," but Pep never makes excuses. So I'll give him that. So I think City will be back, and I think it'll be back to the Liverpool City rivalry. And yeah, I agree with JK. We have to make a mark. We really do next season. No, again, if we don't win the title next season, then it won't be the end of the world. But I want the mark. We need to solidify and get the back-to-back. We really do need the back-to-back. 2020-21 season, that should have been our back-to-back year. And you know what? Our owners cost us in January. They cost us that back-to-back with their stupid pension, giving us holograms and man coming from Germany to swim over to the UK. Like they ain't been here before. You know what I mean? They gave us holograms and people swimming on the Channel Islands to come over here, just giving us peanuts. So now is the time in which potentially they're going to do. Obviously, things are looking good. But again, I just want to see, we could all talk about this. I want to see the confirmation. I want to see certain man holding the red shirt. I want to see LFC to confirm it on the website before we can talk more. And we know what the players are talking about. Frimpong's already arrived in the UK. He's in Liverpool right now. So I'm sure by tomorrow they'll do the thing. So we need the other two to be refilled with shirts. So, yeah. So we see be a challengers, and I just want us to solidify ourselves as the team to beat. And the only way you can do that is a back-to-back. And I'm not hearing any excuses, nothing. That's what we should be aiming for. But yeah, City for me will be up there again with us next season.
Okay. Yeah, City look vulnerable right now. And if anything, they look a little bit. When I say vulnerable, I think they look disheveled. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Rodri isn't going to be someone that is, a asset for them, but I just know that it took. Obviously. It's the same injury, very similar, if not the same injury as VVD had. I just know VVD, it was early in the season for VVD also. I think even earlier in the season for VVD. So his rehab began even earlier than Rodri's did. And when VVD came back, let's be honest, it took a little bit of time for VVD to kind of factor back into his old, dominating self that he's become more accustomed to displaying for us now. So I could see some of the same settings for Rodri. So if their team, I'm gonna land. If their team is determinant on their good form being connected to him, then yeah, I think they're going to have a little bit of getting used to it, because there's no way that you're going to want to just throw Rodri back into 90-minute runs, expecting the same levels, playing him game in, game out, and it's not going to be that easy. So, and on top of that, let's be honest, they even with him in the squad, they still showed little bits of question marks. They still got to replace a KDB. They still got to replace. They still got to figure out what's going on with the bowl haircut guy. Foden. Yeah, there's some things you wanted to say, Baz. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to agree with you in what you're saying. I think remember that position that he plays in. He's their best player, Ballon d'Or winner, and all the rest of it. Yeah, it's a really difficult. The ACLs, again, I talk from experience. ACL injuries are very, boy, it's not easy to come back from that. And when you look at VVD and you look at Rodri, both great players in their own rights and in their own positions and that, yeah. But we had our pressing machines up front. We had our strong midfield, and then VVD was our last guy, who covered pretty much well. But he did his thing. But when you look at their team is not in a mess, but like you've said, they've got to cover, Kevin De Bruyne. They've got to get Foden playing and stuff like that. And they're not a great. They're not a great team. They're a bit of a mess at the minute. That's all. Right. But it's going to be really hard for him. And I think if they're not careful and they don't sort out that team in front of him, yeah, he can break down very. Because he's going to be relied on severely. Because everyone on here are saying, he's people are worried about him. He's a great midfielder and all that. Absolutely, but that comes with a lot of pressure. He's not. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be difficult for them. It's really going to be, but based on on their experience, their manager, the money that they can pay for players and wages and stuff like that, you've got to say that they're the ones that are going to be, the closest challengers to us for real. But that team does need a little bit in it, and they are a team of transition at the moment. So that's a thing to factor in.
Out of all, so you had two. You said City. Lee said City. Let me make sure. JK, who'd you say again? Did you say City as well?
I don't worry about no one.
Right.
Jacob's killed that.
Yeah.
Don't blame him.
Okay. JK played to the fifth. I got you. And then, who was you saying too? I know you took a little bit of JK's thunder too, but Nolante. But who would you have said if you had to pick someone?
City for me.
City. So 3 for City. What's interesting is I'm looking at it as the team that I'm not necessarily worried about them, but the team that I'm going to keep my eye on is going to have to be Chelsea, actually.
Oh?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to say that out loud. Because they're going to make moves. They have, I don't know how many, 30, 40 players on the roster, to kind of pick and choose where and who they're going to bring in. It's going to be different now that they're playing in Champions League as opposed to Conference League. So that does make a difference as to the intensity. Most notably, Villa got to see that this year. But yeah, I think that it's, I would say Chelsea is possibly the team that I would say is going to be the one that I got my eye on.
Do you know what, 12? They've got great potential, haven't they? They can do something, but you know what I look at? I look at their team and I don't see any leaders. I see great potentials. I see great. Calcedo was great, but they don't have Thiago and these kind of players no more. In defense, like those real experience. Yeah, they need to get a goalkeeper. They need to get a striker. Everything else is pretty much covered, and they've got a team for a long time, which they will gain definitely experience. But I think when you look at Champions League level, they haven't played Champions League. Obviously, they didn't play it last season. And that this year will be the games are a lot harder in Champions League, and I think that might be the problem with them, because even when you look at their main guy was Cole Palmer, he was brilliant at one point, and then that kind of like tailed off, or has his moments. You're not wrong with like they are a team definitely to watch. When I just think that in terms of the manager and in terms
possibly gave us the out of all the teams this year, they beat us obviously at the Bridge, but that was other settings. But I think they possibly gave us one of the strongest runs or strongest games at Anfield this year.
But can they do that in the league for 38 games?
It's a question. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not.
I know you're not. I'm not firing. It's just that I'm just looking at, like the other lads, you know what I mean? The only thing I'm concerned about, is I don't know who is definitely leaving Liverpool and who's staying. We're getting some brilliant players in, but like, for example, I'm just going to bring this one out here and just say Luis Diaz, for example. Luis Diaz, you can complain about his outputs and stuff like that, but he's our best ball carrier.
There you go. Say it again.
100%.
Say it again. Wait, I think your mic was breaking up a little bit, so you might have to speak that a little louder.
No, bro. The thing is, there are obviously rumors that Barcelona are interested in. So you lose him potentially if he goes.
They can't afford him.
Well, but you know
what?
I
hear what you're saying. I'm just saying.
If we lose,
it might have been Dustin, or it might have even been Honesty, but someone in the chat was saying something that was a very interesting point. Apparently, for every expenditure that they have to make, let's say they go and buy a 70 million pound player, or 70 million euro pound player, or 70 million euro player, they have to show on the books that they have 4 times that in their coffers. Not necessarily like that they have it. They have at least on their books that they can say that they have that in. So they have to usually 1 for 1, but it's like 1 for 4 for some reason for Barcelona this upcoming season. So. And especially a lot of they just re-signed Gavi, they re-signed Pedri. They're re-signing all their young talent to long, high, big number contract.
This is the thing, though. I mean, I'm not concerned the way, and I know Liverpool are better than what they were last season. We won the league, you know what I mean. But I know we're a lot more capable than how we played in games. But. So I'm not really hugely concerned. Obviously, when you ask the question that, who would be our challengers and stuff like that, you've got to put teams down in it, like who's going to give us like a challenge and that. But obviously, we do. We had probably the best attack. Salah did all the work. Did most of everything, and the others contributed. But when you look at, we're buying these great players. At the moment, we're all excited. We're in cloud 9 right now. You know what I mean? We're seeing private jets land today at Liverpool. With players coming in, but some players will be leaving. Go maybe someone like a Gomez or Kwanzaa or Robertson or a Diaz or even Gakpo and stuff like that. People have been linked. We don't know who's leaving. That's the thing that we got to just be realistic about as well, because we could lose, like, in order to get these 3-4 players in, we could lose maybe 5 players. Do you know what I mean? And then that makes our squad significantly not bad, but in terms of squad building and stuff like that, it can be a bit sticky. But
I'm only going to say to you, I wouldn't put too much into that, because I believe that we are going to possibly see 1 or 2 players go that were maybe unexpected to go. But I think it'll also be because we're trying to maybe make some room on this roster so that players like Rio and players like Trey Neone could possibly factor into getting into the rotation. That's just my opinion.
And you know what? You're not wrong in that. And I'd love to see these players. And I think I mentioned as well, like towards the end of this season. I would have wanted to see some of these players play now. But one thing that I'm a little bit concerned is that they should have had that this season. You know, next year we're trying to, like, you know, get a back-to-back sort of thing. Will he be putting these players in?
No.
I think I don't think he will, but I don't think he'll actively be on the level that we want him to, or asking him to do last season. But I think that he'll probably assert them to be more involved in the cup more early and often, I think, in the cup games.
I'm hoping so.
That's it's just all my opinions. This is
100%. Yeah. I'm just basing it on what I've seen, and you know, people like Trey. How many games did he play last season in terms of like cup competition? Not many, innit? But
Trey was involved in all of the cup competitions, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
but he wasn't necessarily a starter in all of them. But he
was involved.
He started, like, I know he started in Southampton, for instance.
Yeah.
On the road too, by the way.
Yeah, I'd like to see, you know, some of our players, like even like the Rio, for example, like they, you know, it's, you know how Klopp did it with our youngsters. He like gave them quite a lot of time before he kind of got them involved in the first team, even if they weren't starting. Do you know what I mean?
That was also by not necessarily, it was by need or necessity, however you want to put it. You know, like, as those are a lot of them were for injuries, because we probably we wouldn't have seen Connor Bradley so early, for instance, if it had been for injuries, I think.
Yeah. But I think, Connor Bradley, I think there was something about him, though, because he was playing in Championship for Bolton and stuff, and he was their Player of the Year. I think someone like a Rio and Trey, who haven't gone out, you know, they haven't had enough games. That's why I'm only thinking the factors of bringing them in, even involved in the squad, that's great. But they need like a good season behind them, even at a smaller league, a smaller team.
Well, and do you think, one last question then, because we only got like 10 more minutes left, but one last question, and I'm going to open up to the panel too to hear all your opinions too. Do you think then you also have to keep in mind that we do have a couple of decent players that could contend for roles on this team, not necessarily starters, but definitely contend for roles. Then we'll have to, like, obviously see how we shuffle this lineup with the addition of a Florian Wirtz, or maybe even another additional big name player. We'll have a player like a Pachetic returning. We'll have a player like a Ben Doak returning. We'll have the potential of those two young stars from the youth academy trying to push into the senior team. I mean, that's 3-4 players right there that, you know, could possibly play an active role and as being some type of relief.
I don't know, you know. I think I even heard rumors that they were trying to get rid of Ben Doak. But you know, the thing is,
or teams are out there. Everton apparently are interested in him, but I don't know if they're trying to get rid of him or not. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think some of those players. I mean, Basetic, he's a good player, but I don't know. I just get this mad feeling that some of these players are going to be possibly sold at some point. I don't see them as, they might be squad fillers for now, but I don't know if they last. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Alante, what are you thinking?
Yeah, just similar to Baz. Yeah, it's I'm just a bit worried about the academy in terms of players getting the chances or doing well and getting the time to get game time, or even have Premier League game time. That's the worry, and I just don't want us to be dominated by signings or this and that. You know, all these players that have them. Basetic is, you know, he was good enough. You know, and that's one thing Klopp did, which, you know, me and JK spoke about this, is regardless, he'll give the chance to the youth, you know, the academy players to get the games, to get experience, you know, and make the way. And some of them had good games. So I just hope, and again, it's early to say, I just hope Arne's lot basically doesn't forget that. He doesn't forget the academy and give these players a chance, whether it's in the Premier, not just cups, even in the league game, you know.
He definitely
Nalante, sorry, ask Nalante a question. Nalante, you're 100% right in this, yeah. They're obviously different personalities, those two managers, yeah. But do you not? I think like Slot is a little bit more. Do you think he's a bit more ruthless? I don't know if he gets that opportunity that he would want to do. I think maybe he's more buying players and maybe not giving the opportunity unless he will give the opportunity, but he won't be as freely as Jurgen Klopp would have.
Mm-hmm.
You agree? I mean,
and McConnell's a name that he's still with the team too.
Yeah,
McConnell can get maybe push into this team.
Right.
I mean, he's definitely got talent.
He's got talent, but I just don't think I just don't think he is that kind of manager that will play these guys. He'll probably play them in cup competitions, and if we got serious injuries, and like many injuries, then he's got no choice but to call them up. But I don't think he's as freely accepting of youngsters than perhaps Jurgen was.
Another name, Tyler Morton. Again, there's a lot of names out there that we didn't move on or move off of. And
did you see last year though at 12th man? Look at last year when he came in. He okayed those people like Bobby Clark and others to go out on loan and sold and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? That's what doesn't make me feel we've got the quality 100%, but it just I don't know. When I look at Slot, I don't know if he's that kind of guy that's going to give the opportunity to youngsters like Jurgen Klopp did. Slot is a bit more ruthless. Like, no, I want my team. I've got my specific team, and I'll buy the players. I can't really trust these guys, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Look at someone like Endo this season. Hasn't let him down, but barely got games. Elliot.
No, I get it. Yeah, totally get it. Elliot, we all wanted to see Elliot get more minutes. Endo's our guy. Can't find someone a bigger Endo fan than myself. But yeah, mop up minutes is barely but if they're lucky is what they see, So I agree. There's not much room, and this coach tends to stick with a core 13, 14 players, as being the starters at least. It's going to be a big question. I think this is the biggest learning. This is the biggest learning curve or biggest learning curve step that we got to see this manager make, and that is understanding that Premier League is like no other league out there. It really takes a lot to maintain the levels, and especially when you're at a club that's going to be playing in the highest of competitions and expecting to win. There was a report, or not a report. I guess you say report. It was a article talking about how Liverpool are and they rightfully should be, and it's the way they should be anyway. But they are devoted and looking at competing on all four fronts this upcoming year. I'm not going to say the Q word.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. But it is something that they have made a point of saying, how if you ever play FIFA and you got those things that you're supposed, those levels you got to hit. Well, all four competitions are levels that he has to hit this year. Premier League is huge, obviously, but making a real concerted effort to win the Champions League is what I want to see us do. Obviously, defend our title. That's something I want to see us do as well. And it might sound weird, but I would put that second on my list opposed to I want to win Champions League really, really bad. I think if it was us versus Inter, or us versus Barca, or excuse me, not Barca, us versus PSG all over, who knows how it would have went if we had properly went about the PSG thing right. Obviously, it would have been in the role, but us going up against Inter, I think we could have really contended winning that cup. But
with Paris, we only lost one. Yeah. We won one, we lost one against them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll see on Saturday, the final.
We'll see on Saturday. Yeah, we'll see on Saturday.
Who do you reckon? I think PSG. I think
I'm gonna root for PSG. I rather say we lost to the champion than, you know.
I have a funny thing. Inter might do it, you know, just based on the heart that team's got.
Yeah,
maybe not technically, because PSG are technically they're a brilliant team. They for me they've been the best team in Europe. For me, but yeah, I mean, like with the heart, because you know you only have to go and look at 2005, right? We weren't the best team, and you know technically, but you know we had a lot of heart, and that's what got us there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. You and KJ and Dustin and Footy Mo, Judge Footy Mo, or Judge Footy Mo. I think that's the show's name.
I'm best up Drew Cosmic on that.
He was on. Oh, he had. I just love seeing his rants. That's all.
Yeah, long time no see.
When he goes on those rants, oh my goodness, they're epic. When he went on when Inter bottled it to Napoli, it was 20 minutes of just don't let the kids in the room type, situation. It was pretty funny. But did you want to give a shout on that, JK, though, on what we're talking about?
That's cool, bro. It's cool.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. I'm gonna give my little outro, but I will. But before I do, did you guys want to say anything or bring up anything that you have coming up on the shows, or give any plugs that you need to get out? Lee?
I was just looking at what KJ was putting in the chat about Ibu. That's the club that worries me with him, that they will try and get him off us on the cheap because he's only got a year left. I just hope that we, get his contract sorted out quickly and it doesn't drag on, so we don't have to worry about players that we want to keep going out.
Who's the team that he's talking about? PSG?
PSG. Yeah, he was talking about maybe we take it. Funnily enough, in the
they were a team. They were a team that were early on the radar of Konate. Before the contract talks started really even ramping up, PSG was the team. It wasn't Real Madrid. It was PSG really, because PSG at that time was more interested in Saliba than they were Konate, or even BBD, to tell you the truth. But,
we need a fifth centre-half. We don't need to be selling one of our centre-halves. I'm happy with the 4 that we've got, but I want another one. I want us to have 5 because Man City have got 7, and it isn't fair. I'm throwing my toys out the pram on that one. Can't we have at least 5? They've got bloody 7.
Can you lend a man a centre half?
Yes.
I got you. How much for one centre half? In the Chris Rock voice. Anyway, Okay. Well, Baz, is there anything you would like to say before we bounce out and do the thing? Before I give this little outro?
Not really. Just good to see everybody here, and if those that went to the parade, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and it's been a mad season. It's a great start to the summer. If all these players are coming in, I'm just trying to figure out who's actually leaving, because inevitably it's gonna have to be the way. And just quickly on what Lee said, something, as much as Konate is a great player for us, whether we lose him or not, at some point we will replace. And I think when we do replace, we normally bring good players, and let's see what happens, I guess. But big up to everybody, and big up to everybody in the chat as well.
Yeah, big up for sure. Well said, and honesty. I I'd rather see Stevie G get that assistant spot than Jose Mourinho, to be honest with you. But that's just me. JK, is there anything you'd like to say to the people before I give a little outro here?
Yeah, bro. Like condolences to everyone who got hurt yesterday. Our thoughts. We don't really want to sort of reflect on that. That just sort of tarnished everything. But for me, the people of Liverpool stuck together. You know what I mean? And it was just a pity that we couldn't all meet up together. Baz, Fozzie, everyone. You know, that was just the sad part of the day as well. That it was really sort of difficult to maneuver on that there. And I said to a lot of people said they're going to complain, and I think because I said to us, I hope they sort it out for next season when we got another parade. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know we're going to win next season.
I never even considered that could happen. That the signals would go down. I just thought they'd be all right.
No, bro. It's like you think that, like for me, with the technology we got in this world and the money that's involved in that, you'd think they'd be able to handle a like influence of people in one area to have the internet or 5G and whatever it is, you know.
It's hard enough.
I just don't understand. Like, how did it all fail? Did they sort of mess around with some buttons and said, you know what, let's like take the piss out of them, we ain't give them no thingy, they can't send their videos to their friends in the US or whatever, you know? Was it like an April Fool's Day joke or, you know, it's just a bit weird, man. But I seen Klopp yesterday there. I seen Slot as well. Klopp was right in front of me and Alante on the right. And I said, that's Klopp that is. And it was. Because it was
you yelled out, Trivago! And he would have turned around because I think he's obligated now.
Well, is he with them, is he?
That's the commercial. That's the company.
Okay. He's doing a pop. I'm going to find out then. He was opposite Travel Lodge, the hotel right next to us there. But we weren't far off when the incident happened. It was like the second right from where we were. I think K-Mac and all them boys were down there. In that, and Fozzie as well, I think he was like in that area as well. But all them guys are okay.
Yeah.
So thanks to all the panel the panel, everyone, Baz, Lee, Nalante, and also the chat, bro. Always.
Yeah.
And for me, I'll take Gerrard as number 2. I think that'd be great for him, great for the club, great for the players for next season to give them a bit of a oomph in their game a bit more. You know what I mean? And I think it might be good for Gerrard just to.
For confidence.
Confidence and just sort of build something to think about, something serious for once, like in that way of football management wise. Villa, he took serious, of course. Rangers, he did it because he won the league there. I think him going abroad and stuff, he made good money and stuff like that. But for me, I'd love for him to get into a serious position and actually become a top manager. Because I've heard Liverpool fans, I love Steven Gerrard, this, that, and that, but I would never take him as my bloody manager.
Yeah, everyone's soured on it.
That pissed me off, man. I'm like, you know what, bro?
People were very much involved. Like, there are a lot of people that are very heavily thinking that he could become the next manager. I mean, it was supposed to be Klopp, then possibly CBG to take over.
Exactly that. And there was a few content creators talking that sort of nonsense. For me, I don't give a damn. If Slot goes in 3-4 years or whatever, just moves on or whatever happens, and Gerrard got a chance to do it for 2 seasons, I'm telling you the truth, bro.
Do you know what? I think this is his. You know, sometimes people get second chances. Yeah, I always said when he was managing the under 23s or wherever he was managing in the Liverpool, I always said that was the worst thing he did. But you know what? He went to Rangers. He won league titles there and stuff, and then his career kind of like didn't do too well since then. This is his opportunity. If this thing is serious, he needs to come back, and this is his potential being assistant to his team. Yeah. This is such a big opportunity for him if it does come to it, and I'd like to see him get that job.
Yeah.
And you know what, bro? If Johnny Heddinger can bloody do it, Steven Gerrard was 1,000 million times the player he was,
There you go.
And Johnny Heddinger, bro, I'm going to tell you something quickly. I don't like his demeanor when he's sitting next to Slot on the bench. I'm telling you straight, bro. Chill out, bro.
Yeah.
He's like very like this aggressive energy towards Slot, and Slot's like listening to him. I'm thinking, how the fuck does that work out? Them two working together.
Yeah, he's
It's
not
the
very.
way I read people, you know. So I'm like, you know what, Johnny Ettinger, cheers, but fucking chill out, bro. And if you can do it, Gerard 100% can.
But Stevie G, imagine Stevie G's, red blood.
Stevie G
he was respectful, bro.
It's different.
He'd be on some
family, man.
levels at times.
Yeah, it's different, man. You have to not overstep the mark. There's got to be a balance, and hence at this moment, Stevie G is good as we love him, but he's a better coach than Stevie G in terms of he's just better. That's just the better coach in terms of a manager. You can't start Stevie G now. If Stevie G is meant to be the assistant, hypothetically speaking, he has to rein it in with certain things. He can still have his input and celebrate, but not overstep the mark.
Because Klopp might.
It's going to be difficult though, isn't it? Because he was a manager.
I know, but.
Yeah,
this is the thing, guys. So we're saying, but Stevie G, in his heart of hearts, he wants to manage the club. So of course, and of course he celebrate, but it's just not. It's not going to be the same if he is the main man, and that's the thing. So
it's nice to have Stevie G sitting on your shoulder, Liverpool legend. And if anything ever went. I'm not hoping this. I'm not going to wood here. If anything were to ever go bad, having him as the assist. Oh no, there'd be.
But the thing is,
no.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, 12. Sorry, just to add. I know KJ. Yeah, Stevie G is humble though. That's not the problem. But the thing is, he's already been a manager, so he's already started his manager process. So. Yeah, I mean, some people can do, but to step back as an assistant coach, it's not impossible. He can do it, but I think he's more on the managerial path. He's kind of said it, I mean, if it comes up, it comes, but I just feel he's on that path and it'd just be kind of difficult. Not saying he can't do the job, but in terms of the way Slot wants to do things, again, ideas, etc., all these things, because again, he was manager of Rangers. Michael Beale was doing the coaching and certain training sessions, all these things. So would he be assistant manager? Would he want it? Again, that's only for him to know, to ask. That's only for him to find out if he gets the opportunity. So,
well, we will see. That's all we can say for now.
The winner before the men, Dustin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Classic. I knew that was going to happen to them. That's funny, man. That's funny.
For clarification, I'll put it in the group chat for you, KJ. You're asking the question. I'll put it in the group chat about the car. As we close out this show, we're going to ask our audience to reflect on everything from this past weekend, on a season of magic, on a parade to celebrate the heights, and the tragedy that reminded us of life's fragile status. Let's continue to support those affected by the events of Monday. Let's lift up this community as we always do, to walk with each other together, shoulder to shoulder. Let's remember the joy we shared and the pain we now hold together. To Caoimhin Kelleher, we salute you. To every player, coach, supporter, near or far, thank you for making the season unforgettable. We are Liverpool. We are one, and we walk together. We walk on, as always, together. If you can do me the do brilliance of liking this video or others, subscribing, let us know your thoughts in the comments, where you were in the parade. You can give us that. If you have photos or videos you want to share, you can reach out to me on any of the socials. Maybe I can upload them, maybe even share them if they're, as long as they're appropriate. Okay. How do you feel about the transfer news? Let's talk. It's all right here, my brothers and sisters. Liverpool 12th Man Show is yours and mine's together. So let's make it something worthwhile. So with that said, up the Reds as always. And we will see you. We have some really cool episodes coming up. I have 3 good episodes to close out the week. So be sure to join us for sure. So just leave you with that little teaser. Okay. And we're going to figure out the order of them in a second backstage. So until tomorrow, definitely big up, and up the Reds as always, my brothers and sisters. Up the Reds as always. And we'll see you tomorrow.